If you're ready to dive into the world of videography or content creation in the year 2026, then this is the perfect video for you. I want to walk you through a really simple 6-step system that I've created just to help you discover if videography is for you, how you can get started with any camera and at any age in life. And I want to share some practical insight into this industry. I've been a content creator for 4 years and a videographer for 5 years. So I want to help you avoid some of those easy mistakes that you can make in the beginning. So let's go ahead and dive into what I'm calling the video starter system. And the very first piece of advice that I have for you is really simple. Use what you already have at your disposal. So in the year 2026, almost everybody has a smartphone. Almost everybody knows someone with a smartphone. And this is a great place to start your journey in videography. It's really easy in the beginning to have analysis paralysis. You're looking at everybody else who's ahead of you, and you see these big cameras, these big setups, and you kind of get intimidated by the gear. You get intimidated by maybe how much it's going to cost you to get into videography. But this is why, for the very first thing, I just want you to use what you already have. It could be a smartphone. It could be a camera that maybe your parents gave you, a hand-me-down camera, something like that. Everyone has access to a basic camera to get them started. The reason I want you to do this is because I want you to start small. Like I said, it's really easy to kind of get in your head in the beginning, and you maybe get intimidated by what you see out there. So by starting small, you're going to lower the expectations. You're going to make it really simple and really easy to get that first win in your journey. I remember the very first YouTube video that I ever made. I used my Samsung Galaxy S10. It was a smartphone that I had already owned for a couple of years, and I just wanted to create something. I've always had a passion for videography, a passion for movies. And so in the beginning, the very first YouTube video I made was a movie review about Twilight. Now, I had a lot of fun making that video because it was my first attempt at creating something for myself and not having to create for a job, not having to, do a wedding video, something where the expectations were really high. So that's actually my second piece of advice for you, which is make something for yourself. Don't try and go and get this big paid gig for when you first start out. You're not trying to swing for the fences here in your first year of videography. You want to make something for yourself, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to learn whether you even like videography or not. You're going to learn really quickly whether this is something that you truly want to consider long term, or if this, you give it a try and turns out you actually don't like being on camera. You don't like being behind the camera, and it's not something that you're passionate about. And so that's the thing with making something for yourself. It's so easy to lower that bar. That's my keynote here, is literally take all of the pressure off of yourself when you go and make this first piece of content. Make it really simple, make it really easy. Think about something that you personally enjoy. You probably watch a ton of YouTube videos. You probably watch a ton of other people's content on social media. What's something that you would want to make? What's something that you're passionate about that no one else is talking about? Really take some time and make something for yourself, something that you enjoy. It could be cooking related. It could be about cars. It could be about art. Pick something that you enjoy. What I want you to do is make a video that is 10 seconds long, 30 seconds long, 60 seconds. Don't do this big short film or documentary or this, intensive wedding video, something that requires a lot of work. Really just simplify, have some fun, and just lower that pressure on yourself. Now, something is going to happen after this second step. So I'm leaving just a little red mark right here. After step number 2, you're going to have a decision to make. Is this something that you really want to pursue? I get that a lot of people have maybe an expectation of what videography is. They may have an idea of how to be a content creator, but once they take these first 2 steps of being resourceful, getting the equipment that they need, and then making something for themselves, you're going to go down one of two paths. One path is going to be, yes, this is so much fun. I had a great time. I had a great experience doing this for myself with no money attached, no pressure attached. The second train of thought is going to be, this is a nightmare. This is not for me. And you're going to have to make a decision. Is this something you really want to consider long term? You maybe had the wrong idea by looking at social media or looking at filmmaking, and you realize, you know what, maybe this really isn't for you. And that's okay. Not everyone needs to be a content creator. Not everyone needs to be a videographer. And so you're going to have a decision to make after these first two steps. If you're going to decide that, yes, this is for you, this is something you really want to consider in 2026, you made something for yourself, it went well, and you want to keep doing it, my next piece of advice for you is to become a student. Now, this could be going to maybe a college, taking some online classes, or it could just be finding some helpful YouTubers, some helpful coaches in this space. And really the idea with becoming a student is that you're just going to commit to learning. When you commit to learn, it's going to change everything about your perspective in this world. Part of my story is that I did go to a 4-year college to major in broadcasting and journalism. I learned a lot over those years in how to be a videographer, how to be a reporter, how to write good copy, and to edit. So for a long time, I've been a student and I've been committed to getting better at my craft, getting better at what I do, and it has greatly improved my work over the years. The reason why committing to learn is so important is because, believe it or not, some people think that they know it all. Some people think that they have mastered it through experience alone, and experience is a great teacher. However, you're going to separate yourself from everyone else who falls behind because you're constantly researching, you're reading, you're taking classes. Learning from other people in this industry who have years and years of experience is going to be really crucial for you in this beginning stage. So that actually leads me to step number 4, which is to find creative friends. And it's really important that you view these people as your collaborators and not your competitors. A lot of people in this industry think that everyone is out to get them. They think everyone who has a camera, everyone else who has an account that maybe they're growing really quickly, that they are a competitor and I need to do everything I can to beat them. And it's this constant rat race of trying to win at videography or win at social media. And I think that is such a bad ideology. I think that is such a really destructive creative process. If you want to be consistent in videography or content creation, if you really see yourself long-term in this industry and in this space, you are going to need friends and not enemies. You are going to need some creative people who can give feedback on your work, who you can collaborate with on projects. I can't tell you how many jobs I've gotten from friends who reached out to me directly or they spoke up my name when somebody needed a videographer. So having friends in this space is super important. When you're just starting out, you need to be looking for allies and friends who you can collaborate with and you guys can grow in this space together. So now that you've reached this point, I'm going to leave another red mark here because you have another decision to make, which is, are you going to take videography? Are you going to take content creation seriously in the year 2026? And so this next point, for point number 5, is what I call the hobby versus business dilemma. And really what that means is that you've got a decision to make. You are going to decide your intent. And this is really just going to come from your own self-awareness. You've been doing these steps. You've been trying out videography and content creation for several weeks now, several months. And really what I want you to consider is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with these new skills that you've been trying? What are you going to do with this new identity as a student and these new friends and connections that you've made? Here's the thing. This could just be a hobby if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged business. It doesn't have to be something that's making, 10K a month, 100,000 a year, a million a year. If you don't want that expectation for the skills that you've been learning, that is totally okay. If this is just a pure hobby, if this is something you just want it to be fun, or it's an artistic expression for you, that is totally okay. I don't want you to get into this mindset of, oh, just because I'm learning all these things that somehow I need to transform this into like $1 million business idea. I think that is the wrong thinking. Even though I went to college for 4 years and got my whole degree in broadcasting, I really did not have much of a creative expression in my life. And so when I started making YouTube videos, it was so much fun. I was having a blast. I was doing it for free. And it was really just a way to have some creative expression in my life. Now, what happened a year later is that I started freelancing as a videographer, and that became my full-time job. That's what I currently do now with my business, Harrison Frederick's Videography. So for me, freelance videography is my business, but I also do content creation as a hobby, which is part of starting this brand new channel. So if you're enjoying the video so far and you want to see more things like this, go ahead and hit subscribe for me. So now that you've made something for yourself, you're starting to build a network, and you've decided on your intent, whether this is going to be a hobby or a business for yourself, the sixth and final step that I want to show you is what I call the CRI workflow. And really, CRI is just an acronym. All it stands for is create, review, and improve. Every time I create something, I give my 100%. I put all my effort, all of my skills into making something of quality, making something that I'm going to be proud of and that the client will be proud of. Then, whenever I'm done with that creation and that video, I go back and I review it. I ask people for feedback. So by putting in the effort to improve your work, man, if you do that year over year, you are going to see so much progress in your hobby. You're going to see so much progress in your business. People are going to want to work with you because, man, I can remember that first year. It's really hard for me to watch the videos that I made in the very first year of my business because I've just seen so much growth over the last 4 or 5 years that I look back and I go, man, I am so glad that every year I reinvest into my business. I reinvest in better equipment. I reinvest in different skills and different assets that they're going to carry me into the next year. So if you follow these really simple steps, you will be in a great place to start videography or content creation in 2026. It's about becoming resourceful. It's about making things for yourself. It's about becoming a student and building out those relationships and then ultimately deciding, what do you want this to be in the future? I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.